Hails and welcome to Rauta's Vinyl Monday. It's time to do a little bit of a vinyl review, and this time it's a 10-inch EP from a British artist known as Ogre. This one is something that I featured previously, that is different release though, but the same artist, and this one is the release called Murals. This one is simply including two songs or tracks called just Murals Part 1 and Part 2. And there is some interesting information that some of you might be interested in. It says that Murals is in all hardware performance captured in one take to a haunted Tascam Porta Studio. And this, I think, including the gear list here, is interesting because the style in question is indeed electronic music. Now, whether that actually is something called kosmische or just electronic music, synthwave or something like that, that is something that I leave up to the individual in question to decide, because this 10-inch of an EP features kind of all of those mentioned genres or sub-genres. But the thing here is, my knowledge, my talent, my experience is not exactly enough to go through all of that. Now, previously I featured an album called 195, which was interesting, kind of a fake soundtrack to a fake movie. That is, it's not a real movie as far as I know. If I do know wrongly, okay, don't hang me for that. But that was an interesting kind of electronic music from 1980s style, even though the music is very much of today. Murals is a bit older release, originally released a few years ago, and the style is exactly similar, yet also different. Now, this is not exactly pure synthwave. This is not purely the kind of, instrumental music, or mental, I guess, that just is of one style, but many, many different styles. And I guess that's why it's kind of, made into a point that this is clearly done in analog ways instead of just, doing the music on computers or whatever. And if you take a look at these, the list of tags here, it's kind of interesting. It's mentioned 70s, 80s, Berlin School, electronic, commission music, soundtrack, synthwave, etc. And that's definitely what's going on with the Murals one. I mean, it technically speaking kind of features a full album. I mean, 30 minutes and then some. And could be considered as such a full album, but of course, being in a 10-inch version and people getting used to more, lengthier releases, I guess it just counts as EP here. And this one features these different styles put into one and the same release in an interesting ways. At the same time, it kind of reminds me of 1980s movies, television, and also games a little bit, but also those synthesizer releases, but not exactly like the super mainstream. And I'm talking about Jean-Michel Jarre and things like that, because of course this is more like a soundtrack kind of a thing. This music is at the same time kind of soothing as it's energetic, and in my opinion quite cool to chill down with. Not the best out there in the terms of synthwave and all that stuff, but then again, like I said, this isn't exactly purely synthwave, even though it's definitely flirting with that. Overall, I would say this is a good album and better than, or EP, but better than the 195, which I talked about a few months earlier, which is also pretty cool. But this one is, in my opinion, right to the point and overall having more consistent quality, both in terms of songwriting as well as, the atmosphere. But then again, being kind of a live recorded and all, it's pretty interesting how this, folded out. I would say give this one a go. Originally released in 2017 and a few years later released as vinyl. I don't know what's the availability for this particular vinyl version, but at least here on Bandcamp it says this is still available. So if I got you interested in the style, give it a go, and I hope you'll like it. It's interesting for sure. So keep your eyes peeled for more Ogre music, well, coming your way. Thanks, and see you soon with more Rauta reviews later on. Bye bye.